Good morning everyone, today we are going to be talking about the purple triggers in Retem because it is significantly easier than the Alio ones if you know a couple of tricks, which I'll be sharing with you guys in today's video. But first of all, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So as usual, we will be watching pre-recorded footage over here and I'll be walking you through each boss. So at the beginning, it is very simple. It is whoever makes it to the boss first gets aggro first. So you can see here, I dash straight head first into the boss to regain aggro. And over here, it's quite simple. You can just counter everything as long as you stay a specific range. You don't want to get too close to the T-Rex and you don't want to get too far. If you're too far, the T-Rex will charge forward and just keep charging forward, and it really sucks for your DPS team. But if you're too close, he'll do this really somersaulty flip over you, and yeah, that also sucks. So you can see here, I was too far. That's why he does this dash. Watch, he might do it again if I get too far again, but no, I managed to get in range, so everything is fine. So yeah, you can see over here. You may also notice that I am not dying in one hit, and this is because of my armor. I actually gave up one of my Vios armors in order to get the Vidal armor because I managed to get a Fixa 3 guard while farming an Alnoth. So that allowed me to survive a single hit from the Gigantics. However, I have invested a lot more into my armors now, and I now have two Vialdo armors with Fixa guard 3s. So I do lose a little bit of damage, but I gain insane amount of survivability. I can take 3 hits from Gigantics now. Which is really nice because they only deal like 200 damage to me, which is quite enjoyable actually, because I can just play carefree now. I don't need to worry too much. I can play super aggressive, and you know, if I make a mistake or two or mistime a counter, it's not a big deal. So when fighting these T-Rexes or just any Gigantics in general, it's really helpful to have a force, because if you get an elemental down, the T-Rex can't do anything and you literally get like 20 seconds of just pure DPS uptime. It is very nice and it makes life super easy. So as you can see here, we are just destroying this boss because it can't do anything. It's in a down state. And we actually do additional damage. It's also very beneficial to get a ranger because weak bullet is a freaking godsend. Look at that. Elemental down into physical down, and then again we just continue to wail on it. Super easy. So that fight took 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and that was considered one of the longer fights. This boss is super easy, alright? So if you're a melee like me, or a braver basically, all you need to do is literally run straight into it. So you can see how I'm constantly hugging the leg. So at the moment I don't have aggro yet, but once I pull off a counter I will steal aggro, simply because counters are OP. So we're just waiting. Oh, never mind, I stole aggro already. But you see this, you can counter that in order to activate your Brave Spirit, and then you just keep hugging his leg. You literally just hug the leg and just keep beating him up, and then you'll notice he's going to do a specific move, and that's when you need to know how to counter. He's going to spin like the bottom part, and that means he's going to do a like a fiery move. You can see here, I was just being a dum-dum. I wasn't hugging the leg close enough, and that's why those laser beams hit you. If you hug the leg really close, these lasers will not hit you. Here we go, we got an elemental down, which is pretty nice again. So yeah, forces are very useful here. If you're watching this video after the 12th, well, you have the elemental weapons, the Tempesta weapons, which can also aid you in getting elemental downs, which is very helpful. You can counter that spin move if you're comfortable with it, like, you know, I'm pretty comfortable with it because I fought this boss quite a lot. But if you're not comfortable with that, just move away from it, it's not a big deal. And that move right there, you see that fiery spin? That is a very easy counter for Bravers to do if you see it coming. Basically, his bottom part is going to spin a little bit, and then you'll know that he's going to do that move. This one is a little bit annoying, this move right here, because the missiles are pretty difficult to counter as a Braver, which sucks. So if you're not confident in your abilities, just don't go close to the boss, just wait until that move finishes, then go back. Or switch to like a range weapon. You know, if you're a Braver, you could always use your bow, or if you have like 4 subclass or something, you can always do that. So yeah, once you destroy all 4 of his legs, he's gonna fall down like this. Again, just weak bullet, and then just beat the crap out of him. You can see that my Photon Blast is almost up, and once that is up, I will be photon blasting. We got a physical down right there, which is really nice. There we go. Photon blast is ready, and bang, 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 bang. Big damage. Easy clap. And then the boss should die relatively soon. Alright, once the boss is down, don't forget to refill on HP pots and reses. This boss is annoying because, you know, it's a bouncer. It's really difficult because it doesn't have a weak spot. So you have to have like the weak bullet in order to deal like additional damage. And it's just really fast. My best advice for this boss is literally just find the veteran version of it and practice and see its moveset. As a braver, you can really pull off a lot of counters. It's usually a burst. It's a string of 3 to 4 attacks, and then it needs to cool down where it'll just be like mini stunned. So as long as you get really good at just countering and understanding the moveset of the boss, then it's not too bad. But if you're just blindly running in, just DPSing, then yeah, things get a little bit messy. Again, elemental downs and physical downs is your best friend here, because once they're down like that, they can't do anything. You see, we got elemental down straight into another physical down, which gave us a lot of uptime for DPS, which was very helpful. Because you can see when it's not stunned, it's just jumping all over the place, it's kicking, it's dealing a ton of damage, and it's just a pain in the butt. So yeah, you just want to try to elemental down it, or just normal down it, or physical down it as much as possible. Alright, once that is done, again, refill on HP and revives, and next one is the frickin' Dustyl. So this boss isn't too difficult, it's just annoying for melees because you can't really reach the weak spot. I personally just like to put the weak bullet on the leg because then I get 100% DPS uptime. However, that's not you know, always the case. Sometimes if you have like a lot of range people, you can put it on the canister on the back, or you can put it on the weak spot on the chest. Now, that would probably be more efficient if you have a lot of range players. What I need to do here is I really need to get a pair of wired lances so that I have a lot more mobility in order to gain all this DPS uptime, because that way I don't need to rely on brave combat in order to get elevation to you know, get to the weak spots all the time. So it would allow me to increase my DPS uptime, because you can see here, once my brave combat is down, there's no real way for me to get all the way up there. If I do a dash and a double jump, it doesn't exactly reach there. I mean, just a little bit too low, so it's annoying because yeah, it just kind of, you know, the team doesn't know what to do with the weak bullets. In this case, we had a lot of range players, so it was fine that they put the weak bullet on the chest. I was pretty much the only melee player, so I'm just here whacking the leg because, well, I couldn't reach the chest. And then whenever he does that, just make sure that you counter it. It's pretty much free, unless, you know, you mess up somehow. But if you just get a little bit of practice, get that timing down, it's not difficult at all. Again, if you have a bouncer main on your party, it might be beneficial to destroy that canister to increase their DPS uptime. That would be very helpful. But yeah, pretty much same old over here, pretty simple. Just beat the crap out of the boss and it dies. Just think of the urgent quest. Now, once this boss is dead, you're going to notice that we have to run down to the next floor, because the map is going to get a lot bigger since we are going to be fighting the worm now. So you see, we're going to jump straight down, map is nice and big, and here is the worm. So this worm boss is actually pretty fun. There is a trick here, which I will show you in a moment when it does happen. So the beginning over here is just going to shoot a bunch of things at you. As a braver, you pretty much stand right in front of him and just spam counters, because it'll give you a ton of damage. He's going to charge, and you just keep countering, and it's easy. And you will take aggro relatively soon. If you don't counter, well, you die. So, yeah, you just gotta get a lot of practice and just get good. Those attacks are pretty cool when he does the charge up ball thing. It's pretty easy to counter that, and it feels really good when you do counter that too. You can see, like, my auto attacks are dealing, like, what, like 20-ish damage with that. But look at those counters, 190, and that was what, like, I couldn't see, but it was like 200. It's all around like 200 damage, which is pretty nice. That was 232. So you really just want to rely on your counters. And now once he's down, we go burst mode. We try to deal as much damage as we can. So by the time you get here, you want to make sure you got like around 6 minutes. 6 minutes is really comfortable. If you have less than 6 minutes, then you might need to worry a little bit. So right here is exactly the same as the urgent quest. You just gotta destroy this point. The only difference is all these missiles and everything that all the projectiles shot at you can pretty much one-shot you. So yeah, you just gotta be extra careful, and you just need to make sure that you dodge everything, because yeah, these hurt quite a bit. You see there's the tail sweep. Normally I would try to counter it, but in Gigantics mode, I'm just like, nah, I'm not messing with that. So I just double jump so it doesn't hit me. But there we go, we destroyed it. Now we go straight back to the weak spot. So this is the trick over here. When he burrows around like that, we want to die together. You can see here that all 4 of us die on purpose. And then look, he's immediately gonna unburrow, which saves you 40 seconds in this fight. Well, 30 to 40 seconds. Because usually he burrows and then he's like, you know, flying around doing laser beams and random stuff. But if the entire team dies at that specific moment, like when he's about to go into that burrow phase, it absolutely skips it, which is super useful, because it just saves you a bunch of time. So you can see here we've still got 3 minutes left, and we're gonna kill the boss pretty soon now because we managed to skip that entire phase, which is around 30 seconds, maybe 40 seconds. I don't exactly have a timer on it, but it feels really dang long. And yeah, you can see over here I am getting obliterated because of those missiles behind me, because as a Braver you do not have omnidirectional guard, you can only guard in front of you. So if the missiles come up behind you, well, you just get screwed. So it really sucks. And there we go, 1 minute and 20 seconds and it is dead. And here is the amazing part. One of my members actually got a relic weapon right here. As we're gonna see, my alliance member is about to freak out over here. Got OMG, Relik, and they got a relic rifle. So as you can see from this screenshot, that they managed to get the relic rifle. Unfortunately, there is no fixa, but nevertheless, still freaking amazing. So in conclusion, the purple triggers in the Retem region are not that difficult compared to the Alio region. I found the Alio purple triggers a lot harder when it was first introduced. You know, people are dying left and right. However, with the Retem region, it's not that bad. It might be because it's just easier to hit the bosses or something. You know, we don't have to deal with the dragon. That dragon was quite a pain in the butt in the Alio region. But with the Retem purple triggers, the bosses aren't too bad. You know, other than the bouncer one is a little bit annoying. You do need a lot of practice in order to pull off a lot of counters, especially if you're a Braver. You really want to capitalize on countering as much as possible, simply because it just deals more damage than like everything else that you have in your arsenal. Like a Braver auto attack deals like 100 damage, but the counter does like 250 damage. So, you know, you might as well be mixing those up. And of course your PAs do a little bit of damage, like, you know, Lotus Lightning, it does like 20 to 30 damage per hit, but you're hitting like 6 times. So that's like, what, 180 damage. So it's okay, it's not too bad. But yeah, basically it's just a lot of practice. Highly recommend you guys to just try it because, you know, it's really fun. And yeah, you might get a relic drop. We got really lucky and we managed to get that relic rifle. Now, if you're like me and you are very uncomfortable with like getting one shot, what you can always do is invest a little bit into some armor or some damage reduction. You can see here that I got this Vialdo armor plus 40. This was an actual drop. I was farming in Alnoth and I got the Fixa Guard level 3 over here. And you can see that I have damage resistance, 4.5% damage resistance. And this really helps because this does not include the Fixa. The Fixa is another 3%. So just from this armor piece alone, I have 7.5% damage resistance. And then I've got another piece over here with another Fixa Guard 3, which I managed to snag off the market for 300,000. So I was like, why not? I'm gonna buy it. And literally with these two pieces now, the Gigantic need to hit me 4 times before I die. and that is literally just standing there and taking the full brunt force of the damage, and it is glorious because I can play super aggressive now without a care in the world because I know that I won't die. Now of course this does come at a cost of my potency or my damage in general. If we look at my damage right here, I'm only at 31.2% weapon potential, which is pretty low considering people going glass cannon can go like 50+%. So I am losing quite a bit of damage, but then again my augments aren't done yet. You know, I'm still missing like Dustyl 3s, Gigasmite 3, I'm missing my Dreadkeeper 3s, so I'm missing a lot of potential there. However, the nice thing about this is I can play very recklessly. I can literally just run into Gigantics and not care because I know that I'm not going to get one shot. So I can literally just stand in front of the boss and spam those counters because I know at the back of my head, if I do mess up, it's okay because I'll just heal myself and just continuously beat on the boss, which is really nice. Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye!
Can I say except you're welcome for the heals, the boosts, the